So many yeses. Let's just dive into it. This week's challenge, before we dive into it, I have to give a couple of shout outs. And the first shout out is a special one because it goes out to my patrons. There's several of you out there. First of all, I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being one of my patrons. I've had a couple of new patrons join in last week with the new 20 plus tier with the butterfly patrons flutterings, which are the daily vlogs, the daily little videos, 5 to 10 minutes. I have to say that I'm having fun. I've already filmed the one that is going up on Monday. I'm looking forward to see what you have to say about it. So I don't say that often, but a special thank you to my patrons, without whom I don't think that any of this would be happening. Seriously, they're the one that keep me going with all kind of support, and they know what I'm talking about. So thank you. Then the other shout out, I was like, I have to pick one or two, and I started to write out names like I usually do, but I couldn't stop writing. I was like, there's no point in doing it this way. So I was blown away by Karen Campbell's spread with the little girl hopping. I mean, I was blown away by Lisa Martens. I wanted to say Martens, but it's Martens spread with the brown and the gray. It was so delicate. I was blown away by Abigail Thomas's spread with that rust, which was so, I wanted to reach out and touch it. I was blown away by Carla Weyland with the little ladybug walking over the spread. I was blown away by Cindy Mary. I mean, that black bird with the red background, it was just like everything. I'm like going back and back and back to it on Instagram. So many amazing spreads were made last week that I'm sorry, I just couldn't pick one and say, hey, kudos to you. So many, and if I didn't mention you, sorry, it's not because your spread didn't jump to my face. It's because there were so many that at some point I thought, okay, moving on. I mean, I can't keep on going with names and names and names, but so many amazing spreads were made within the challenge group that it just blew my mind. And I wanted to acknowledge each and every one of you for keeping on layering. Now, keep it going with the coming week. Yeah, Cindy is saying the same thing. There were so many amazing spreads. I think that flow challenge is really something. So back to today's challenge. We are on week 41 of the 2019 A Layer a Day challenge. So this challenge is running from October 12th until October 19th, which will be 19/10/2019. European version of the date, which I think is funny. This month is all about the flow. Last week we took a step back just to observe and see what was going on. We are going to take one baby step forward this week, one tiny mini step towards something a bit closer to controlling and managing our art channeling for as far as you can do it. This week we are going to reproduce. No, we are not going to make babies. We're going to reproduce the flow. That is what we're going to do. Now, hold on. Keep breathing. I'm going to explain all about it. What I mean by reproducing, we're going to copy ourselves. We're going to look back into our journal and have a look at one of those spreads where we were really completely, totally into the flow, where the flow was really like palpable almost, if that's a word. I think it is one. And we're going to try to reproduce that. We're not going to try to reproduce the spread. You might, if it helps you to get back in that flow, but it might also make it very hard for you to do that. Because if you try to reproduce the spread that you made back then when you were in that flow, you might sabotage yourself because you will not be in the same mood. You won't have the same things to tell on paper. So the thing is to go back to that state of mind, but with your current emotions and feelings, and put those on paper. It might sound easy. You'll see. It isn't that easy. This is also one of the things that makes it so hard for people who are starting with art journaling and who are trying to copy spreads, which creates a lot of frustration because they're not in that same flow. So they're trying to reproduce something while they are in another and different flow. And that is why it is so hard to copy art journaling. I mean, you're basically just copying the pretty spread. You're not copying the actual art journaling. So you will see how hard that can be, even to reproduce yourself. If you are a beginning art journalist, I can hear you. What the frack is she talking about? What am I going to copy here? If you don't have that yet, if you haven't experienced the flow through the making of a full spread, no panic. Keep breathing. No panicking in English. Just go to that one little tiny moment where you did feel the flow. If it was that one little technique that got you sucked up completely in your art journaling, go for that little thing. And if you have to, repeat that over and over and over again, 7 days in a row, I don't care. The thing is to reproduce that flow. For me, I could say if I make 7 circles with an ombre inside, I'll be in the flow each and every day for each layer this week. So that is what I meant with baby steps. If it has to be that small for you because you're just starting out, make it that small. If you need it to be that small because you're overwhelmed by thinking, copying yourself or someone else to get in that flow, then make it that small. Baby steps. Don't worry, we're gonna amp it up next week. Okay, let's catch up on the comments and see if there are any questions. Hello, Heather. Lisa, you're welcome. Hello, Jessica. It's so a word and the right one. Which one, Abby? I've said so many. Okay. Hello, Daniela. Yes, Sabine, it can be tricky. This sounds easy, but it isn't. You will see that reproduce, even yourself, can be pretty damn hard. Could be difficult. What Abigail asked. What did Abigail ask? Reproduce completely, like same colors and everything. I leave it all up to you, Abby. Just like always, what you do in your art channel is completely up to you. Whether you want to copy the complete spread or just go for the feeling, emotions that you put in that spread, or just go with the flow that you had in that spread, I leave it all up to you. Make it as simple or as intricate as you need for yourself to get into that flow and to reproduce that flow. Reproducing a baby could be easier, and I can't do that either. Jane, we're keeping it simple here. And for not only adults, I was going to say something completely wrong. Let's not go down that road. Okay, so Kathleen is going to go with color. I think that's a good one, especially knowing you. So, what have I missed? Tac. I've said all of that. Last week, like I said, we kept it safe and within our universe. We're doing the exact same thing this week, so keep that in the back of your mind. We're not trying to go all woohoo, and it always should be effortless creating. If it's not effortless, it means that you're not in your flow. It means that you need to look back to that spread that you're trying to reproduce, whatever level it is you're trying to reproduce it in, and then pick it back up from there to reproduce it in what you're doing now. Okay. Distressed vintage it is then, I think. It will work this week, Gerda. I have no worries about that. It will work out in the end. I know that sometimes the challenge puts you off at the beginning of the week, and I'm talking to all of you out there, my sweet butterflies, but I know that in the end we will end up again with so many beautiful spreads. And I don't remember who posted it on Instagram. I'm not going to look for it now. That she had made like hundreds of layers since January 1st, and that's how it is with layering each and every single day. We are putting layers and layers and layers in our journal, and I don't know about you, but journals are filling up, and that makes me happy. Simple is good, says Jane. I can do simple. I meant I'm grandma, so past babies. So am I. Don't tell anyone, but so am I. Okay, I'm hot with the spotlight in here, and I cannot open the windows because all the bugs are coming in. I have two more things to say which are not challenge related, but which I still wanted to share with you. Oh, maybe it's not because of the spotlight. I just realized might be something else. Yeah, you know, that age where things happen. First of all, giveaway time. It is giveaway time tomorrow on my Instagram. 2 chances to win a seat on the Book of Days online workshop that I'm part of next year with Effie Wild. I am so stoked about that. I'm seriously to be part of that. You can win 1 seed from me, and you can win a seed from Effie. To get all the details, make sure that you're following me on my Instagram, which is just France Papillon, not France Papillon Butterflies. That account is no longer used, just like it says on the account. It's just France Papillon. Make sure that you're following me there. You can find that in the description of this video, by the way. Tomorrow, Sunday, October 13th, that's hard to say, 2 chances to win a seat. Just saying. And then the other thing that I had to say is for my patrons, I hope you didn't miss the post that I made on the Patreon page regarding the new stamps. It's a little something between me and my patrons. I'm sorry. If you want to know what it is, you have to become a patron. I hope you didn't miss that post. And then, oh, I had a third thing to say. The last thing I have to say, write it down. On November 5th, I will be on Hochenda TV at noon and at 4 GMT. So that's UK time, 4 p.m. obviously. That's UK time, not Central European time for once, at noon and at 4 p.m. Hochenda TV. I'll be there with the new stamps, the new stencils, and a whole bunch of other little stuff thingies. If you were waiting for the Journal on Monday Art Journal kits, just saying, join me there. Okay. Don't miss it. Having trouble. I didn't miss it. You have trouble choosing. I hear you. I hear you, Danielle. It's hard to choose from the 5 new stamp sets, isn't it? That's all I have for you today. It's already 2016. Well, 8/16 in the American version to say the time. That's all I have for you for today. So this week, we're producing our own flow. I know it sounds bizarre, but that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm looking forward to all the layering that you will be doing. If you have any more questions, it's now, because I'm going to walk away from the studio in a minute. Woo, Jane, yes, you might want to start saving because there's a lot coming up, and I had a talk with Leslie from Chocolate Baroque, who manufactures my stamps, and we both agreed that this is my best stamp collection ever. So it's going to be amazing. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm looking forward to all your layers. I see that there's no more questions popping up, so I'm going to sign off. See you on the Patreon page. See you on the Facebook groups with an S, because there's many of them. Butterfly kisses, everyone. Bye-bye.